dive in. Let's kind of keep on this draft trend and how it impacts the portal, how it impacts these college kids, how it impacts the longevity of college football. Quinn Ewers, man. I mean, if Shador Sanders doesn't have the big slide, he is the story of the weekend. And that just kind of shows how I would say electric, maybe that's not the best word for it, but just entertaining it was. I was thinking about this too, man. I go, the WWE, people love it. I've never been a fan of it. I get people like it. It's just modern day drama, real world TV. And I was like, they have to write and create stories that the NFL just falls into. Like what you saw this weekend was a perfect WWE just script. Like complete madness. You got Mel Kiper losing his hair. We've got coaches losing their hair. We got prank calls. That thing's blown up to a whole thing that
That's nuts.
wild. It's coming down to it was the DC's son for the Atlanta
Son,
Falcons. Could he
yeah.
be losing his job? Like, I mean, dude, we're like you can't script this kind of stuff, like this kind of madness. But anyways, Quinn Ewers ends up going 7th. And we know that him and Carson Beck really found themselves in a very familiar situation. The only difference I would say is that Beck gets injured in the big time game where Quinn just performs and looks like shit. It would have been better off getting injured because then you're more likely to stay. And the offers that we heard were 4, 5, 6. We are now hearing that Carson Beck got 6. I think we can both all agree that Quinn would have probably got a little bit more given the fact that he wasn't injured. Playing from Texas, had a lot more upside coming out of high school. So you're telling me he would have got $6 million plus another year to sharpen his craft, plus another year to, like we just talked about, maybe go to a quarterback coach or a school that can develop him a little bit more than what Sark has not done to this point because he hadn't really shown us to be that guy. Again, when he coming out of high school, being the number one perfect recruit, only 3 of those in the ever of all time. It's Quinn, Vince Young, and Arch Manning, and you're kind of falling on a ledge here. That's a massive fall from grace. And now he's at Miami, which I don't hate. I think they need a quarterback. Not the worst place to be, but I mean, look, I think massive fumble of the bag here, even with the quarterback class being what it's going to be next year. You really don't know because again, we said the same thing this year when Caleb Williams in that class last year. We're like, well, the next year's class is going to be ridiculous with Carson Beck. And remember, we said all this. The class ended up being completely flat. So I think the one positive that came from this, and maybe it will, maybe it won't. I've always been a big component of these college quarterbacks staying longer. It's beneficial to stay longer. The money is there, which is even more reason to stay, and you're just going to go and get burned. And I also think there's a component of this too. The draft, we saw it. It's not just these guys weren't as good. They weren't as good, but they weren't game changers, and there's a big shift. We've gone over the last 3 years where the damn near 75% of the NFL was trying to find the next generation of quarterbacks because we had our generation, the Toms, the Drews, the Big Bens, the Aaron Rodgers. Those guys are slowly being shifted out who managed a spot for over 2 decades, essentially. So now all these teams have been trying to play catch up and trying to find that next guy. And then you've got to transition in quarterbacks from the style of quarterback. That's changing as well. So all of a sudden now you're looking, a lot of these guys are pretty comfortable with their quarterbacks and a lot of teams are really elevating themselves. Now, these guys can still fall off, don't get it twisted, but timing's everything too. And I think Quinn and these guys came into a year that teams just invested a shit ton of money in picks on their quarterback from the last 2 years that are supposed to be the guy. And so that's why we saw a slide as well too this year. But Tyler, you go then Cody.
Yeah, I mean, Quinn falling off wasn't like a huge surprise to me. I mean, I think he was projected like a 5th-round pick. I mean, as the year went on, he just continued to play. To me, he just played worse and worse. I thought for sure that he was going to transfer to North Carolina and be the coach for Bill Belichick. That was the thing that I had in mind as his draft stock continued to fall because he just didn't put anything good on film all last season. Like he just continued to struggle. He struggled in the big games, even not in the big games. He looked like he had happy feet. It didn't look like he was reading the defense that well. I wasn't like, I'm more shocked that he didn't stay and go to a different school because he couldn't stay at Texas. Arch was taking over no matter what. So I was more shocked that he decided to come out than him falling. At first, I even said that I was like, I would consider Quinn Ewers, but as I watched him throughout the season, he was not the player that I thought he was, and I kept seeing him fall. And Once again, it didn't surprise me one bit because, first of all, a lot of teams didn't need a quarterback. I mean, we saw 5 go off in the first round last year that needed quarterbacks, and then everyone kind of found their quarterback. So, like, that was another reason why the quarterback position fell a lot this year. You were looking for more of a backup quarterback than you were a starting quarterback. So,
Yeah.
that's another big factor that no one was talking about also.
And you gotta wonder too, man. I mean, who's advising this kid or these kids in general? Like these things need to be taken into consideration too. These part-time agents that are really, and I say part-time agents, the guys that are the agents, a lot of the agents, there's some great ones and there's some really bad ones that are functioning. I don't know who advised him that it was best to go, but how do you not get a good read or a good feel that out of this quarterback class, did you really think that you were better than Dylan Gabriel, Tyler? I mean, Tyler Shaw, no shot. I mean, there was a lot of buzz there towards the end there. Obviously Shador, Will Howard. I mean, Will Howard just won a national championship, cat. Dylan Gabriel possesses everything that we've talked this past 2 days: the athletic ability, the mobility, the arm. Like Quinn, you have none of these things. You have none, everything. We talked about Shador lacking things. Quinn, you've lack all of it. Like, what what are we talking about
Yeah.
here? So Cody,
Well, yeah, his agent should have called me, and I would have told him, "You're ninth on the high top big board. That's not very good, bud. You should probably go to Syracuse or Tennessee, or I could think of 15 schools that could have used him. Now, would he got 6 million? I don't know, probably not. But you could have went to Syracuse or IU or all these schools that lost quarterbacks. Georgia could have went. You probably could have went to
ooh,
Georgia. It's like the problem is there's too many freaking yes man in this world, and everybody was pumping him up. His agent had a false read. If they would have called me, I would have said, "Look, I would
don't know why
probably
I didn't.
transfer because you're 9 on the big board, and the high top big board does not lie."
I'm shocked. I don't know what they were thinking, Cody. That's unbelievable.